Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week.
We're going to talk about steel today, Paul.
Sapphire and Steel?
Ooh, that was a good TV series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But people won't remember that.
That was it the 1970s?
I think so, 70s or 80s. Probably 70s.
Maybe even the 60s, 70s?
We've got that on DVD.
We have, yeah. But that's not the kind of steel you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about manufacturing steel. In particular, British steel.
Good old British steel.
Yeah, as in it might not be there anymore.
Well, it has been a declining industry in the UK for a very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know exactly, but there were potentially hundreds of different sort of steelworks in the UK at one stage.
Mm-hmm. Foundries,
Yeah. I mean, now there's basically, one or two?
I think Scunthorpe is the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it might not be there for much longer.
No.
Unless they get some help from the government, I think is what they're saying.
Well, they've had some help, apparently. They asked for £1 billion injection of government money to keep the business going, but was offered 500 million. And the big problem is it's not sustainable. They've got to move it over to some kind of renewable energy or electric powered or something like that.
Yeah, because the old sort of traditional sort of steel makers use coal fire, didn't they? So
it's polluting.
A lot of pollution. So they want to put new electric sort of foundries in place. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, if I was asking for £1 billion and someone only gave me 500 million, not £500, but 500 million. Yeah, okay, I can live with 500 million. I can survive on 500 million pounds.
Well, I don't think they actually gave it to them. They offered it to them.
Yeah.
So instead of, they've not taken the 500 million and said, we'll keep it anyway, but we're going to close. Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's just not enough. And
it's just not enough to keep the factory open and help them sort of change over to a sort of cleaner energy supplier, cleaner energy equipment.
It says here in the article that the company that owned the foundry in Scunthorpe had put already 1.2 billion of their own money in, and they were losing £700,000 a day.
Okay, which is crazy.
It is.
If you're losing that much money per day, then it's obviously not financially viable.
No, of course not.
You know, and old industries like this, they don't. I don't think it's sustainable. You know, you can't say replace that factory or that steelworks with electric based.
I don't know. Well,
I think you've got to build something completely new in a completely different location.
The key thing is there's not going to be any steel made in the UK. They're going to have to import it, and that's a problem because every country apparently should have their own ability to produce their own steel.
Yeah, I mean, I know lots of people say that, but why? Why does every country have to have the ability to produce steel?
For defence purposes.
Such as?
Whatever things they need for defence that's made from steel. Tanks?
Yeah, but where do you think the tanks are made?
I don't know.
I don't think they make them
in the tank factory.
In the tank factory. Well, the tank factory down the road, yeah. I don't actually think they make tanks in the UK, though, do they?
I don't know.
I'm not sure they do. So I can understand the idea that for those military things that you perhaps need, you perhaps do need steel. But to be honest, you can buy steel from almost anywhere.
So I can go to the corner shop and buy some steel.
Well, not exactly the corner shop, but you can go to like a builder's merchant and buy steel.
Yeah, but where do they get it from?
I don't know, probably China.
I think you're simplifying things too much. When did you last buy some steel? Are you a steel buying expert? No, and no.
Okay.
Never, no.
That's true. I'm not an expert on steel, but like anything, if you want to buy some steel, you go to the market and find someone who will sell you some steel.
Nah, I know, but what if you're at war and the market is closed because everybody's keeping their own steel to themselves?
Yeah.
And you need a tank and you can't go to the tank factory.
I reckon there's enough second-hand steel in the UK.
Oh, a second-hand tank, can we buy one? That'd be so much fun, wouldn't it? Oh, just go and drive over things and shoot
You would
things.
park anywhere in your tank. No, but you think about it, steel is something that I think can be reused.
Yeah.
And all of those cars that have been scrapped, that are just being left sort of, that's all steel and
But wasn't
iron
that
and
what
things.
happened with the cast iron during the Second World War? Didn't they? They took down all the railings and everything, didn't they? Anything
Yeah.
that they could melt down and turn into armaments.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
So in times of war, I don't think the UK would go without steel and iron and things like that. There's so much of it lying around. The problem, I think, is it's much cheaper in comparison to create new steel than to recycle old steel.
Well, obviously not if you're still losing £700,000 a day.
Yeah, but if you try and take old steel and recycle it somehow, you'll probably lose even more money.
I don't know. I don't know. We are not steel experts.
No.
We shouldn't even pretend to be. But the fact is, there's going to be people who are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
And it's
3,500?
No, 2,700 jobs at risk out of 3,500.
That's basically almost everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you worked in a steel factory for all your life, if you had, that's all you'd done.
Yeah.
And you'd got to find a new job, and there were no other steel factories because all the steel factories are closed. That's the last one. What job are you going to do?
I don't know. There must be some transferable skills.
I have the perfect solution.
Go on then.
They buy my book and they become online teachers, trainers, and coaches.
And teach people how to make steel?
They could talk about steel. They could educate people about steel.
Okay, yeah.
But it's a book about, ditching the 9 to 5 and having a new career.
That's true, it is, yeah. Okay. And don't rule it out. Just because they work in a steel factory doesn't mean they can't do
They
that.
might be guitar players and they want to teach people guitar. They might
Yeah.
be good at feng shui or something like that.
That's true, yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm completely flummoxed now because we were talking about steel.
Oh, that's
and
a good word. Flummox.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about redundancies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, you mentioned earlier this £700,000 a day losses.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unsustainable. No one can sustain that kind of thing. No matter how important steel is for the country, for the defence, if it's costing you that much per day, then you can't afford it.
It's not a business. Business is for making money, not
Yeah.
for losing money. Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm surprised they went on for so long.
Yeah.
But I mean, with cost of living, prices going up, benefits going down, there's more and more people who are going to be at risk of losing their jobs, aren't they? I mean, historically, both you and I have both been made redundant, haven't we?
Historically, yeah.
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 And at the time, you think, oh, God, because you didn't really expect it. But then afterwards, it was like, oh, thank goodness that happened. That was such a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it sort of forces you to do something different.
Yeah.
And you get the opportunity to choose.
Yeah, in a sense.
But I don't know whether that choice is still going to be there for everybody.
I don't know. I mean, I think for us it was easy because we had sort of easier because we were office skills, office based.
Yeah, service industry.
Yeah. But if you're in the manufacturing sort of labour based industry, it's not going to be as easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
It depends on your age as well.
yeah, and I think for some people, for governments have to the government has to decide.
Yeah.
The UK government needs to decide: do we need steel making capability in the UK? And if they do, they should build a brand new steel making facility with all the latest technology.
They probably don't need brand new. They probably just need to seriously convert that one. But they've got to either make the decision. Do we want steel to be made in the UK? And if they do, then you've got to put the money in.
Yeah.
If they don't, then don't put the money in.
Yeah, and it'll close down.
I don't know. It's a dilemma, isn't it? I do feel sorry for the people of Scunthorpe, though, because that's a big chunk of the community, isn't it? I mean, that's awful when that happens to a community.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's obviously it's not the first time it's happened in the UK. If you can think back to the 70s, the 80s, the coal mines.
Yeah.
When most of the Welsh economy was built on coal mining, and when the coal mines closed down,
and they closed down because they weren't economically viable.
Yeah.
There was still coal, because that's what the miners were saying. There's still coal to be dug, and it's like, but it's costing us more money to get it out
than it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem is once you do close those kind of sort of places down, where the whole community is built around that one thing.
Wrexham
Football Club.
Wrexham Football Club. If you want to know about a community that was devastated from pits being closed, watch Wrexham on Disney. It's about the football club that was taken over by Ryan Reynolds
and the other guy.
McElhenney.
Oh, McElhenney, you remember his name. Well done.
Yeah, but...
I just remember them as Ryan Reynolds and the other guy.
But it's a fantastic series because it really catalogues the people in the community, and the football club is the centre, the focus, the sort of the glue to the community, isn't it?
Yeah,
that ties
it
everybody together.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really suffered, didn't they, from industry dying off there.
All those small towns in the UK have. I mean, I'm sure it's been the same around the world, but particularly we know it from the UK.
Yeah.
All those small towns die, and then the heart of the town is gone. And
what was it in Manchester? It was the mills, wasn't it? And where I came from, it was the shoe industry, boot and shoe.
Yeah.
It was all factories.
In Manchester, it was the cotton mills.
Yeah.
The Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
My town was a steel town.
Yeah. Because you had a steelworks, didn't you?
It closed down, I think, before I was born.
Oh, God.
So that was like, back in the late 1960s.
And now we all work on computers, technology, IT, and AI is going to come and take all our jobs.
Of course it is, yeah.
I imagine AI is going,
Yeah. But anyway, just going back to the idea of steel. Oh, dear. You were talking about national security, and this article mentions national security.
Yes.
This steel works is not owned by the UK. It's actually owned by a Chinese company.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if steel is something that is important for national security, surely it should be
owned by the government.
Kept in-house, at least. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, probably when they bought the foundry, British Steel, when they bought it, the international climate wasn't as volatile as it is now, so people weren't worried about that. Whereas now, people are a little bit more worried about defence. Fences are going back up, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's not really for us to comment on that.
Yeah, I know it's not, but if it is something that's so important, then as a government, you choose to invest in it, rather than letting another foreign nationality invest in it for you.
All you need to focus on, Paul, is with the current climate, there will be lots and lots of new spy movies and spy stories, because everybody's spying on everybody again.
Again, yeah.
And you love spy stories.
Yeah, I do. And Russia, the Russians will be the bad guys again, won't they, in all the spy movies?
In American movies, the Brits are always the bad guys.
Not always.
They are always about, unless it's James Bond. But I mean, that's sort of British, not American.
Yeah. In every James Bond movie, the bad guy was, going back to the originals, the bad guy was always Russian. And
German?
No, they were usually Russians.
Okay.
East Europeans. Then for a short while they were Arabs, but now it's all Russian again.
Oh God! Why can't people just get on?
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Well, I think that's it today. That was quite a long one, all about steel.
Yeah. Do you feel you understand the steel industry better now?
No. Do you know what? I was thinking about that. I would love to go and see how they make it. Could they turn it into a tourist attraction? Because I did love going to see when we used to visit the nuclear power plant in Anglesey. I went more than once, didn't I? Because I found it so interesting.
You did, yeah. Okay. Can we do a little quiz?
Yeah.
Okay. Which town in the UK is most famous for steel? You do know the answer to this.
Sheffield?
Oh,
I got it right.
You got it right.
I don't know why I got it right.
What's the name of the famous theatre in Sheffield?
The crucible.
Okay, what is a crucible?
It's what you melt metal in.
Yeah.
It's a container.
It's what you make steel. It's what they make steel. It was invented for steel making.
Okay, but it's also the place where they play the snooker. Yeah.
The Crucible Theatre, yeah.
Yes.
There you go. They're pop quiz.
Wow, I like that. That's good. We should do that every week.
Yeah, okay, if you want to.
Okay.
I think we'll leave it there, though, for now.
I think so. All right, everyone. Have a good week. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.